Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me in this live video. My name is Sandivel, formerly known as many other things. That's a whole other video and story. But for now, this video is going to be about some tips on how to share, express your heart in a time of conflict. And I was really called to share and speak on behalf of this topic, mainly because it's so easy to not be able to really express what's really in our hearts, just for so many reasons. Hi, Mike. And, I know there's like the whole COVID vaccine thing, but this can be applied to anything where there's just different opinions and different points of views and perspectives. And at the same time, how can we express in a way that allows the other person to also be heard, and also, more than anything, you're able to express what you actually want to say. And so I kind of made top 10 tips that I recommend. Hey sis, whereabouts are you? I'm in New Orleans, love. It looks like you're still in Mexico. Is that right? I love seeing your journey there. It's a moon dancer sister of mine. So I think number one thing is you have to get clear who are your people that are worthy of your discernment of your heart. You're not gonna convince anyone, around your point of view. You have to get really clear, why do you want to share in the first place? What are your motivations behind wanting to share your heart? Sincerely to ask yourself first, are you wanting to be right? Are you wanting to be loving? Are you wanting to be generous? Like, why do you want to speak your truth in the first place? Because if you want to be right, you can journal, If you want to be super right, become a lawyer, become a judge. Oftentimes we don't even understand fully what's our motivation behind sharing our point of view, sharing our hearts. We don't know. Yes, let's be in touch, honey. And so number one thing is, based on your motivation, really own it. Like, whether if you want to be right, at least that is your agenda. Oftentimes not being clear why you're talking to someone is what makes the whole situation in the first place a mess. And if your sincere, genuine motivation is you actually want to learn or you want to understand, then be open, be curious, engage, and fully invest yourself in your intention. But if you don't know ahead of time what your motivation is in the first place, then there's going to be a good chance that you're going to become attached, you're going to become righteous, you're not going to be able to see the other person. So step number one is like, what is your motivation behind wanting to communicate in the first place? That will eliminate a lot of unnecessary pain. The other thing that came to mind, so if you do want to have a discussion with someone, because it's a time where I think people really need to talk. There's a lot of things going on, and communicating is a way where we learn more, and there's so many points behind communicating. And so when we're in a time of conflict, which I feel the collective at whole is at a conflict, my personal intention, why I like to communicate, is to have a discussion, to learn, to understand. A few days ago, I had a discussion with a girlfriend of mine, and it was a tender conversation, and I had to express that something hurt me, something she said to me, and it was so wonderful because I wasn't attached to being right. I was committed to being heard, and I was committed to also understanding her point of view and so on. So I was ahead of time clear on why I wanted to communicate, and I felt that conflict inside of me, so I really wanted to address it. So if you do want to have a discussion with someone, really be open to hearing the other person out. Sometimes, as silly as it sounds, having like a timer, to have 5 minutes, one person talks uninterrupted, and then another 5 minutes. Find a way. I know that timer practice actually really, really helped my former partner and I when we were in really, having difficult conversations. And, the main thing is like creating as much safety as possible. And sometimes having a neutral tool like a timer that helps bring neutrality and safety to a situation that is vulnerable, tender, and charged. Oftentimes, again, when we don't know why we're communicating in the first place, we may think we want to save someone or help someone, but that's kind of basic codependency 101 right there. Like, we are not here to save anyone. People are, with the exception of some situations, but for the most part, we are all capable adults, able to make choices for ourselves and learn from them. And so, really, again, being aware about what are our motivations behind communicating. I think communication is like a portal to intimacy, and when there's conflict, so many things can come up for someone, whether that is a feeling to defend yourself, or a feeling to be right, a feeling to prove justice or something like that. And so the next thing I wanted to share was really knowing who is worthy of your vulnerability. I feel like I can't express that enough. A stranger on social media is not gonna be someone that is worthy of sharing your deepest, heartfelt feelings. It takes a mature presence to receive something tender from the heart, so it's our due diligence to know who those people are in our lives. And again, you can create boundaries ahead of time, whether it's a timekeeper, allowed a time to talk, or even saying from the beginning, look, I just want to be heard. I don't want any feedback as far as what you think is best for me. I just want to be heard and listen, or I want to understand, your perspective on the situation, because this is how I feel about the situation. Really opening it up to a discussion more than I know what's better and I have the answers. I'm looking at my notes here, and I got my numbers all mixed up here, so I'm trying to go off by this. Give me a second. I think the other thing too is just remembering to be gentle with ourselves and the other person who is willing to go into the battles of the heart with you and hear you out and also be heard. Gentleness and really goes long ways in being kind to each other. And Da, 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 da. I mean, I feel like I wrote all these like notes, but like it feels kind of boring that I'm reading them off my notepad at this point. The main thing I just wanted to, I guess, stress, is like really allow yourself to see your motivations to wanting to talk in the first place. Yeah. Am I wanting to communicate to be right again? Am I wanting to communicate to just be heard, to be listened to be witnessed, to be observed? Am I communicating because I think I'm going to save someone? You can only save yourself. Am I wanting to express to create more intimacy? Well, is this person worthy of intimacy? Not even worthy. Is this person in a place to hold the tender energy of intimacy? Like really observing our needs to want to share ourselves, expose ourselves. There's so many things I would love to share with people, all the way from my family to loved ones to friends to even people here on Instagram, social media. But I think, honoring what you have to say first starts with understanding and knowing what are your motivations behind it. Once you know what that is, then it's so much easier to sit in that, to really embody that, become that intention, and lean towards that when things get hot and heavy or intense, or things get a little difficult. Taking a breath and coming back to my intention is to be a safe space. My intention is to learn. My intention is to share. My intention is to understand. And I think that's pretty much it. And I hope everyone is finding their place during these times. These times are constantly like shifting and moving, many changes happening, and my hope is that we can continue to express our most tender, loving truth with as much awareness and compassion and understanding all around. Thanks for watching.